Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will be breaking down the Ravens at Bills on Sunday for the Divisional NFL playoff games. This is by far the best game of the week and maybe even the year. So in this video, I'll break down my opinion on the games, my bets, and some insights. The Buffalo Bills will look to advance past the AFC Divisional round for the first time since 2020 when they faced the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs on Sunday. Buffalo is riding high after a dominant 31-7 victory over the Denver Broncos in the wild card round, while Baltimore earned their spot with a 28-14 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Ravens, winners of their second straight AFC North title, have posted a 6-3 record on the road this season. Meanwhile, the Bills, fresh off their fifth consecutive AFC East championship, remain undefeated at home with a perfect 9-0 record, including the playoffs. The forecast for the game predicts temperatures in the teens. This game is interesting because the Bills often use what's called sub-personnel or sub-packages on defense. This means they take one of their linebackers and replace them with an extra cornerback. But by removing a linebacker, the Bills lose some of their ability to defend against the run as they have smaller corners. But the problem in adding a third linebacker makes the defense more vulnerable to play-action passes, especially when the Ravens put Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews out wide, which creates a mismatch in the receiving game as well. The Ravens' tight end, who excel in catching passes, could take advantage of this situation. It is really like a pick-your-position battle for the Bills. And of all this, of course, is a recipe for disaster with someone like Derrick Henry in. We saw this firsthand when the last time the Bills faced Derrick Henry. In that game, Henry ran for an incredible 140 yards on just 13 carries, averaging over 10 yards per carry in this sub-personal. The Bills had 5 defensive backs on the field during those plays, which made it easier for Henry to break through the line and gain big chunks of yardage. Now, the Bills were out some of their linebackers and players on defense, and part of me thinks they are going to roll out the same personal, but part of me thinks they cannot let the same thing happen that happened last game. Now, no Zay Flowers is also a big loss for the Ravens, but the key of this game for the Ravens is using their heavy personnel. We saw it last week against the Steelers, and I think the game script will have Likely on the field a lot. I think we see a lot of 12 personnel groupings with the Ravens running the ball and just dominating time in the ground game. For that reason, I'm taking the Ravens to win this game. I just think the Ravens have multiple ways to win this game. They can dominate the ground game like they did in Week 4. They could play a great defensive game, as their defense has really turned up in the past couple of months, and they can also have Lamar run 14 times for 100 yards. Also, the weather really does favor the power running team, and here, that is the Ravens. I mean, who really wants to tackle the 6'5", 250-pound running back 20 times? On the Bills' side, they are a good running team, but the Ravens are one of the best run-stopping teams in the league. They give up on average just 62 yards a game and just 3.4 yards a carry. They have only allowed 2 teams to go for over 100 yards, which was the Steelers, which averaged just 3.7 yards a carry, and the Eagles, who averaged 4.6 yards a carry. For the Bills, there really is only a couple big ways they win this game. One is they own the turnover battle, and the other way is Josh Allen going Superman mode, which can happen. But from a gambling perspective, it is to much risk, especially at pretty much an even bet. If the Bills were in the money line range of plus 150, then that is a topic for another convo. I'm not touching the over or under here in this game. Now, let's get to the player props. First up, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is one of the most dominant running backs in the league, and this matchup sets up perfectly for him to hit the over on his rushing yards. The Ravens are really becoming that run-heavy team, and their offense often revolves around establishing the ground game to control the clock and wear down opposing defenses. Henry is the centerpiece of this strategy. If the Ravens can stay competitive in the game or play with a lead, they will lean heavily on Henry to keep the chains moving and keep Buffalo's offense off the field. We have seen Henry get 20-plus touches in the past 5 games, and unless the Bills jump out to a huge lead, he should get 20-plus carries. Next up, I am looking at the tight ends on the Ravens. As we mentioned above, if the Bills decided to put their linebackers on the field, they would be better at stopping the run, but in coverage there would be a mismatch. With potentially no Zay Flowers, more 12 personnel, and that means Likely and Andrews will have a chance to have huge games. And for that reason, I like Isaiah Likely to have a good game. If you tailed us last week, it was the same points we made, just a different opponent. Isaiah Likely will be the guy Lamar looks to, and with his receiving prop set at 34.5 yards. I'm taking his over. Next, let's look at Josh Allen over 45.5 rushing yards, which I think is a strong bet, given his ability to use his legs in high-stakes games. Allen consistently steps up in the postseason, averaging over 73 rushing yards per game in last year's playoffs. I just think if it is not there, Josh will take off and run a lot. I also see the Bills going for it a lot on fourth down. Against the Ravens' defense known for its aggressive pass rush, Allen will likely scramble frequently to extend plays or pick up key first downs. Baltimore's focus on defending the deep pass could open up running lanes, and Allen's willingness to take off in critical moments should help him surpass this modest. Now, for all those reasons above, I also like his rushing attempts of 12+, which is sitting at plus 350. Last year in the game they lost to the Chiefs, Josh ran 12 times, and this year against the Chiefs he ran 12 times as well. Now, I know he isn't playing the Chiefs, but the same stacks are on the line here, so give me Josh Allen over 11 rushes. Lastly, my little parlay for this game is the following. Ravens moneyline, Lamar Jackson over 40 rushing yards. Josh Allen over 40 rushing yards. Derrick Henry over 100 rushing yards. Total odds here plus 750. So those are my favorite bets for the Ravens at Bills divisional playoff game. And that is it for this week. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video for more betting and sports news. See you in the next one.